It's all going bad for Trump. His brain, his base, the polls, and he's panicking. What can he do to get back on board? Bring back an oldie but goodie.
This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period.
Why put him out there for the very first time in front of that podium to utter a provable falsehood? It's a small thing, but the first time he confronts the public, it's a falsehood?
Chuck, I mean, if we're going to keep referring to our press secretary in those types of terms, I think that we're going to have to rethink our relationship here. You're saying it's a falsehood, and they're giving Sean Spicer, our press secretary, gave alternative facts.
That, of course, is Kellyanne Conway. And the word is Trump has grown tired. So why not bring back the queen of bullshit?
You have some reporting also that Donald Trump is considering bringing in a name that the country learned back in 2016, Kellyanne Conway, back into the fold. What are you learning?
He's stuck on the fact that he's not running against Joe Biden anymore. And he realized he has a very different candidate, a new type of person to take on. And he doesn't feel as comfortable with the direction that his prior team has been going in. They've been focused on Joe Biden. And he has a bit of nostalgia and recalls the days in 2016 when Kellyanne Conway, who has been his longtime advisor, who, by the way, is still on retainer with the RNC for political strategy, he thinks that she would be the right person to bring on.
While the Republicans look around at their colossal fuck-ups, of which there are many, you have to ask yourself, what's different now? Well, up until recently, there's been no Kellyanne Conway. And the question is, could she have stopped these forgettable moments?
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black.
Or maybe Kellyanne's real talent is not stopping Trump, but feeding the darkness inside his brain.
Old, weak.
Many don't feel he is fit.
Sick, tired.
Too old to serve.
Stammering.
It's tough to speculate what she or anyone could get Trump to do.
Slurring.
He was ranting and raving.
Slipping. Forgetting.
But it's also unfair to ignore Conway's vast experience in lying. I mean, she's really good.
The person who's having the best week is J.D. Vance. What Vance did yesterday was brilliant, just spontaneously crossing the tarmac, crisscrossing over, and forcing the press to cover him, Bill, because he was there with the press, and did two things. Was clever and funny by saying, this will be my plane, I'm going to check it out, and then quickly pivoting to what's on everybody's mind. The fact that Harris won't take a single question.
Whoa, what? You see, that's a good spin. The ticket is still suffering from Vance's huge, ugly insights into his soulless, mean-spirited attacks on women.
Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children. It's just a basic fact. You look at Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children. And how does it make any sense that we've turned our country over to people who don't really have a direct stake in it? We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too.
And this next video resurfaced right on its heels.
I got myself into a little hot water last week. I made what seemed to me a plainly obvious observation that Alex Jones, the InfoWars guy, is a better source of information than Rachel Maddow, the MSNBC gal. The second criticism that I get is, well, he's a crazy conspiracist, right? He doesn't believe that 9/11 actually happened. But I bet if you're being honest with yourself, every single person in this room believes at least something that's a little crazy, right?
Of course, you know Alex Jones and his attack on the parents of Sandy Hook.
Alex Jones spread a conspiracy theory that the Sandy Hook shooting was a hoax and that the dead children were crisis actors.
But none of that bothers her. The other day, creepy JD was stalking Harris at the airport and walked over to her airplane. It was creepy to everyone who saw it, but not this tool.
Very smart for Trump to have a press conference today. And I'm going to go one step further. When we were campaigning in 2016, we had very few resources, understaffed, under-resourced, underdog, underestimated. What did we do?
Wow, talk about a setup. Let me finish that for you, Kellyanne, you lying twit. Trump won the electoral vote in 2016 by meeting with the Russians.
He's the publicist who says he was doing his client a favor when he organized a meeting at Trump Tower in New York City with the Trump campaign team for a Russian lawyer with links to the Kremlin. Within days, Rob Goldstone was inside the room where it happened, at Trump Tower, as the Russians, including Kremlin-linked lawyer Natalia Veselnitskaya, sat across the table from Paul Manafort, Jared Kushner, and Don Trump Jr.
And then use the internet Russian agency social media, located in Russia, to create division by propagating lies like the DC pizza parlor, where Republicans spread the lie that children were not only being kidnapped and taken there, but being molested and then killed so Democrats could drink their blood. That's insane, right? Who would say that? Well, not once did Conway or any Trump official tell their base that it was a lie. So one afternoon, a young man approached the pizza parlor with a rifle looking for Hillary Clinton. It was only luck that he didn't kill somebody. So Conway's real talents are twofold. She can lie with the best.
And I would say this to the mainstream media. Kamala Harris is ignoring you because she thinks she already has you.
And when there's another lie out there like rigged elections, well...
Let's talk about this idea that everything's rigged. Yesterday, Mr. Trump once again arguing that the election will be rigged. It's a charge that he makes with no real evidence to suggest it, that many Republican secretaries of state and others are very upset that he is making. Now, back in April, when you were working against Donald Trump, when you were supporting Ted Cruz and advising his super PAC, you had some tough words for Mr. Trump when he was lashing out at the time against the system being rigged.
We hear from the Trump campaign, the rules change, it's not fair, the system's rigged, the system's corrupt. You can whine and complain all you want that you didn't know the rules.
Very smart for Trump to have a press conference today, and I'm going to go one step further.
Now, this is a classic Conway, pretending that Trump's press conferences are substantive and that he's not lying through his teeth every second. Let's look at the lies from just this week. Trump called Biden's decision not to run a coup orchestrated by Barack Hussein Obama, and then he went on to say the Democrats are killing babies after they're born, which of course is a lie, and one that sounds like Kellyanne wrote it up herself.
She wants abortions in the 8th and 9th month of pregnancy. That's fine with her, right up until birth, and even after birth, the execution of a baby, because that's not abortion, that's the execution of a baby. The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
That's a horrible person.
But if you look at what we've done with Roe v. Wade, we did something that everyone said couldn't be done, and we got it done. And I give great credit to the Supreme Court and the justices for having the courage to do it. What they did is very simply give it back to the state. And I'll tell you, the Democrats are the radicals on this because they're willing to have abortions in the 7th, 8th, 9th month.
Trump also tries to pretend that allowing states like Alabama to ban all abortion and IVF is what the majority of Americans want, when the exact opposite is true. 70% of Americans support Roe.
We got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country.
But Kellyanne's real talent is attacking America's immigrants, who are the backbone of our nation. And she's smart enough that she knows that, but like so many close to Trump who are willing to collapse their spine in order to kiss the ring, she charges forward. What really hurts me here is how much I respect her ex, George Conway, and to that point, his tireless work in exposing Trump.
Hi, I'm George Conway. This is the most important election of our lifetimes, and I'm sorry to say the most important issue in that election isn't being addressed. Donald Trump has never been right in the head. We've all seen videos of Trump slurring words.
Anonymous, really anonymous. And then they announced there was no bias. No. A beautiful criminal United States.
And rambling nonsensically about sharks and electrocution.
You know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time.
Hannibal Lecter.
The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man.
Donald Trump's problem is he's just nuts. I'll let others who know him explain.
He's a populist authoritarian narcissist.
He is a consummate narcissist.
Governor Chris Sununu called Trump crazy, but
adding, I don't think he's so crazy he should be in a mental institution, but if he were in one, he ain't getting out.
He goes and he starts to say these wacky things. That's what scares everybody about him.
Our country can't be a therapy session for a troubled man like this.
While Kellyanne Conway attacks Kamala Harris, which is part of the game, I get it, she also backs Trump and his rhetoric. Trump has promised to arrest the Biden family, Mark Zuckerberg, Rachel Maddow, as well as promising revenge on the Capitol Police who defended Pelosi, Pence, and the rest of our government, all the time promising to ban abortion and then allow states to arrest and even execute doctors and, yes, women.
And I heard the scientists say the other day that when a man votes for a woman, he actually transitions into a woman.
Kellyanne Conway's life and career, well, they're almost Shakespearean in their inevitable tragic end. Kellyanne will forever be known by this.
Alternative facts.
But when it comes to her legacy, there will be but one conclusion, with no alternatives. Kellyanne lies, and while the lies may have destroyed her marriage, well, she's found another home.
There's nothing good about it.
Damn right.
I'm ready. Let's go. trust me.
Shut the f*** up, Don.
Who's with me?
Oh, yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, right.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.